Thank you so much, Camille. I have to say, one of the great pleasures of being here at Berkeley is that I have an opportunity to work with amazing colleagues. And Camille really exemplifies this. She conceived of today's program on her own. She organized it tirelessly. She sends emails at 3 in the morning. She's absolutely amazing, and she really has her finger on the pulse of what's happening, and I think today exemplifies this. So I want to thank you, Camille. Now, there's been quite a bit of discussion recently about artificial intelligence, and we've seen headlines about Elon Musk and Bill Gates and others basically creating a scenario that this is imminent, that AI, the singularity, is near, and that means that this was something we need to worry about, that computers are on the brink of being able to take over. And I want to report from the academic side, at least, that this is not something we need to worry about in the near future. Those of us working in AI, we're not that close. But why is this concern arising so much in the popular press? And Jaron Lanier recently pointed out that there's something he calls the myth of AI. And to some degree, I think he's very correct. He says that it's in the interest of corporations to create this idea that this is all the work of computers and algorithms, and that in some way gives them the justification to own this functionality, these systems. But the reality is that where all the action is in the use of large data sets. And that data comes from us. So the data that's used to train the systems, all of the empirically based systems that are exhibiting progress, remarkable progress in a lot of cases, computer vision for one, speech recognition. This is all due to large sets of data that we as humans are providing every day. And we may train, that data is used to train those systems, but those systems will quickly become stale and outmoded unless they're continually fed more data. So these systems have a very symbiotic relationship with us as humans. In other words, we're not going to be left out of the loop. They need us as much as we need them? But the question is, this is right on at the crux of the topic for the seminar, which is who is owning this data. And I think it's extremely important for us to realize that we own the data, that these AI, quote, AI systems are actually what, rather than singularity, I like to use the term multiplicity. They're systems that use multiplicities of computing power and multiplicities of humans. They're symbiotic systems that are very much in the interest of all of us to both to work with, but also to benefit from and share in the results. So this is where I feel like this kind of community will come together and think about structurally what we can do to really to avoid us being left out in the cold as this technology progresses. All right. Now, William Gibson has many quotes, but one that I found recently is, time moves in one direction, memory in another. And this idea of memory is very important for our keynote speaker today. And I have to share one quick memory, which is that 20 years ago, I worked with a team of students in Southern California. We developed a system called the Telegarden, and it lets people plant and water seeds over the internet with controlling a robot. And we had lots of data that this thing collected, and logs, et cetera. And over the years, it's been used by researchers and others. And about 5 years ago, I was contacted by a student who was working on a study, and he asked a question about it. And I just went back to the website and to get the data for him, and it was gone. USC had reorganized its servers, and it had taken down the server that had been up for 15 years. So I panicked and sent some emails off. I didn't know anybody there anymore. I didn't know where I was going to do. And then a student said, "Hey, wait, have you checked the Wayback Machine?" So I went on it, and within a minute, had pulled up all the web pages I wanted, and they were all stored on there. So thank you for this, I have to say. And I think many of us have stories like that. And in fact, this resource is incredible. And we've been running a lecture series for 20 years called Art, Technology, and Culture. We videotape all of those lectures. We were looking for a place reliably where we could store all those videos, and that's also on the Internet Archive. In fact, the Internet Archive contains 20 petabytes of valuable data of our cultural legacy and knowledge base. It's amazing. It's a truly amazing thing. It's audio, it's video, it's a wonderful, amazing resource, and it's really due to our speaker today. And he is he's really a hero, I think, for many people. He went to MIT, and legend has it there was a dorm conversation one night with one of his pals, and they said, "What can you do with your life that's going to make a difference?" And the idea of actually archiving all the world's knowledge came up. This was about 30 years ago or so, and so I remember those days, those kind of conversations late at night. I had many of them myself. Very few of us actually acted on them, but our speaker today did, and he has been steadfast in his goal, which is no less than providing universal access to all of human knowledge. It's an impressive, extremely impressive goal, and he's made enormous progress on it. He's been rewarded by being acknowledged in the Internet Hall of Fame, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, National Academy of Engineering, and many other honors. With his wife, very recently, as another example of his thinking, he has, with Mary Austin, he recognized the problem of rising rents and affordability of housing in San Francisco. And so they formed a new organization, again, applying creativity to this problem, and decided to create a foundation to purchase buildings so that they could provide what they call debt-free rent to the employees, and thereby secure affordable housing for employees to be able to work near, to live near where they work. It's another example of really thinking out of the box and applying this to the greater good. And that organization is called the Colley Austin Foundation, and I encourage you to look it up online. There's a lot of great information about it. He's been described in so many ways, and I want to get off this podium so I can give him time here. And he's an inventor, he's a philanthropist, he's a scholar, he's a digital librarian, and I want to add one more, which was suggested by actually Camille. He's a mensch, and I would say actually let's call him a cybermensch. So please join me in welcoming Brewster Kahle.